Once we've cut out our triangle, we're going to use a ruler like so and attempt to find balance points. So for instance here we see that the triangle balances. I'm going to carefully mark 2 points and join the line. I'm going to double check that I actually have it correct. Okay, oh there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to find the second position of balance. That looks good. And going to mark the 2 points. There you go, along which the ruler edge lies. When I join these two lines, where they intersect will be the center of gravity. If I put my finger under that point, I already did the experiment before, you can see on the other side, but when I put my finger under that point, you can see that it balances. Take a paper clip and open it up like so. Like so. And then finally these two sections here should be in line, and try and keep everything nice and straight. Take your yardstick and find the middle of the stick. Find the inch marking that is closest to the middle. So I have a 36-inch long yardstick, and the closest inch marking that is in the middle is at the 18-inch mark, and I've ruled a line straight across it. This will help me place my pivot point accurately across, perpendicularly across the ruler. I'm going to glue this paper clip, this bent paper clip, so that these edges are going to be uppermost, and this edge is going to line up with the bottom of my rule, like so. I'm going to use plenty of hot glue. So first I'll just put some hot glue down, and I'll place my bent paper clip right there, and I'm going to put plenty of hot glue on top, like so. I'm going to hold it there until it's sufficiently hardened so that it will keep itself in position. Make sure, or just keeping an eye on it, just to make sure that the paper clip does not begin to fall, and we should have something that looks like this. Let me zoom in so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Give you a side view. Next, use a Sharpie to mark the distances in inches of each inch marking from the center of the stick. So for instance, on the right hand side, I have marked 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. to the end, and on the left hand side I have done the same thing, and this indicates the distance of each inch marking from the center of the stick. Next, find two objects of identical height. In my case, I have used some old batteries that are dead to use as supports. You can use tin cans or any two objects of equal height. I'm going to place the pivot like so. We can see that one side of the stick is sloping because the side is heavier. I'm going to use some clay and place it on the lighter side of the stick in order to balance it. This will take some trial and error. Here I'm using trial and error to try and find where to put my clay so that the stick will be perfectly level. The balance point will be quite sensitive. This looks very good, and I will simply just depress my clay into the stick, and my stick now rests in a level condition. In step 11, we take 4 quarters and we neatly stack them, and we place them so that their centers are on the 4-inch mark. We then take the other coin, or the single coin, and using trial and error we determine where to place this coin so that the balance will be restored. So gently hold the other side while you experiment to determine where the coin should be placed to bring it back to a balance again. So this will require a little bit of patience, and here we go. I've managed to get it back to a balance again. Note the distance from the pivot at which you had to place a single coin in order to restore the balance. In part 12, we take 2 quarters and place them at 4 inches, and take another 2 and place them at 8 inches. Then take a stack of 4 coins and, using trial and error, determine where the stack of 4 coins should be placed so that the balance is restored. Like so. Note the distance from the pivot at which the 4 quarters have to be placed on the left in order to balance the coins on the right. And that's the end of the experiment.